The only skill that you and I need in order to learn every other skill. Woo! This is huge. This is like an universal key that you can unlock all the treasury boxes. When someone is less smart, those who suffer are not them, but those who interact with them. You gotta develop this skill of emotional intelligence. The way we build, we grow, we connect with others, it changes, and that's amazing. If you are so strong, why are you afraid of feeling an emotion? Just don't make dumb decisions. You think you're thinking, but you are feeling. And if you confuse what's feeling with thinking, my gosh, your life is a circus. If you want to be tough, learn how to be kind first. Follow your heart, but use your mind. Allow yourself to be human, not making impulsive decisions. You can't moan and lead at the same time. Challenge precedes competence, always, and change precedes results. Wouldn't be smart to be smart? I'm sure the answer is yes. The only skill that you and I need in order to learn every other skill. Woo! This is huge. This is like an universal key that you can unlock all the treasury boxes. And this key is one of the greatest things that have made a huge change in my life. I can surely tell you that my personal experience of my life is split into before I learned this skill and still working on, of course, and it is before and after. Really, my personal experience, I'm not talking about the experience that we have, a relationship that we have with others, or with God, or spiritually, or in love, or in friendship, or in partnership, in work. No, just personal. Of course, it is going to influence all the other relationships, but your personal experience, the way you filter, the way you organize all the information, and the how do you go through and where are you going to go according to the experience that you go through is going to be influenced by this skill, how good you are at this skill. And this skill, oh my gosh, I'm so in love with it. Probably because somewhere along the way I'm naturally a little bit gifted with this one, and that allows me to help others, probably because of that. But I don't know, but this is huge. This skill is emotional intelligence. And you'd say, what can I do with emotional intelligence? Everybody speaks about it, I heard about it, maybe read about it, but how exactly is this process? What to do, and what's the difference if you do develop and work on this skill or not? What's the difference? Because you might say, you know what, I might go also through life or through work and I can achieve great things without this skill. I really doubt that. And you'll see why during this video. So how is this video going to be structured? First, we're going to look at what emotional intelligence is. Then we're going to go into both extremes. When some of us are very emotional, and on the other extreme, those who really ignore the very stoics. They're just only logic. All right. So we're gonna go through these two extremes, and we're going to look at the symptoms afterwards. And after that, we're going to look at the what can we do about these two and actually identify, are you more akin to one side or towards the other? And then I'm going to teach you 8 principles. 4 of them are for your personal experience, for your personal self-leadership, the way you manage and lead your own experience, interpret, transform, use all the insights, information, and interpret your life, your personality, your endeavors. And 4 of those principles are for leadership, how to build a healthier relationship with others and how to develop and grow those relationships. Because I probably assume that you already know how important is that. So you're going to be amazed. You're going to be amazed of how actually easy it is when we know what to do and we know where to look. So this is the mission of today's masterclass, that I provide a blueprint that you can start with. And of course, absolutely one thing before we start. This is not a black and white thing, like this is right, that's wrong. All the information I'm going to share with you is an information that you want to process, to verify, and to make sure that you are not just blindly applied. I know you're not going to do that, but still a good reminder, because we're going to touch some extremes, or just for that I can explain the concept. So you don't want to take them 100% literally, but just for the sake of conveying the message. All right. So what is this emotional intelligence? Because it's an intelligence. And if we have IQ, all right, we have an index of our intelligence, how good it is when you talk to someone which is smarter than you, right? In some periods of our lives, we used to feel a bit awkward because like, you know more, but I assume you're already on the wisdom path, and you start to feel great when you talk to someone smarter than you and say, wow, hey, was that possible that someone like me, or older or younger, or doesn't matter, and they know so much. This is great. Wow, you can learn so much from them, right? Well, and how does it feel? It's a feeling. How does it feel when you talk to someone which is really, how to put it, behind and slow and is very sure of it? You get a little bit of like, oh my gosh, are you gonna start getting smarter soon or not? Can you please let me know when is that process going to start, so then I can come back? Well, it's the same thing, but you know the thing when I say that when someone is less smart, those who suffer are not them, but those who interact with them. Because when you don't know that you don't know, you just don't know that you don't know. The same thing is with emotional intelligence. It's very pleasant and interesting and constructive to speak with someone that is aware, that they're emotionally engaging, that they can you can have a bridge between you and them. But if they are not, then you feel rejected, or you feel there is no engagement space. There is no like, hey, do you understand what I'm talking about? Do you feel, or you just don't care? So, you know, the greatest risk here is when we are not emotionally intelligent and we don't know that. Well, then we might go through some experiences in our lives which looks like a mystery. Like, why have they don't want to partner with me anymore? Why are they avoiding me? Why nobody wants to work with me? Why is everybody telling me that I'm like this or like that? Well, that's a mystery. No, well, it's not a mystery. It's a skill that we can work and develop. All right. So that's what we're going to know right now. Long introduction as always, but let's begin. Welcome to Explore Self, Master Wisdom and Leadership for Business and Life. My name is Alexandr, and I'm going to serve you today. I'm going to do my best today. So after this masterclass, to say, woohoo! Now we're talking. Now I know what to do. I know where to look, and now my life is going to be different. That is my mission. So welcome. Let's go. The only skill needed to excel in every other skill. You might say, how is it possible? Well, because when you learn everything, when you're going through an experience, you want to learn something more in marketing or in business, you want to grow a business, change your life, whatever, there is a process. And if there is a process, means there is an income of information that comes in, gets out, is filtered, and you make decisions upon it. And then you make the next step and the next step. So there is a process. Means that if there is a process, during that process means there is a 50% risk that you're going to give up. And if your feelings, your emotions are blinding you, or it seems to you that you are going to make a rational decision, but actually you are very influenced by an emotion that you're not aware of, it's like having a virus in the house. It's like having a thief in the house and you don't even know about it. So that's the risk of not having a good level of emotional intelligence. So that's why every skill, everything that you work on, there is a process. And along the way, emotional intelligence helps you to split and to make the difference between where is there an emotion, am I blinded, am I biased or not, so that you can progress and succeed. That's why emotional intelligence is the greatest skill. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, I do really believe and think and sure and know this is one of the greatest skill, because I'm an emotional man. I get emotionally easily. I can cry. I watch a movie, I cry. Like I'm not even ashamed of that. Say what? Because that's how I process that emotion. I really let it to go through me. But hey, that's me. But the risk is that when you learn something and you stumble, emotions comes in and then boom, you stop. And I've been through so many experiences where I gave up too early and I started to believe in something that wasn't true. And that's not good. Don't you agree? Wouldn't it be smart to be intelligent emotionally, us in our rationality as well? So what's emotional intelligence? Is the ability to feel, the capability to interpret, and the skill to express, manage, and direct emotions rather than suppress them, combined with the art. It's an art, means it's something personal, of recognizing, considering, and interpreting emotions in others. If you want to read the disclaimer below, do it now. It's going to be on the next slides as well. So it's an ability, it's a capability, it's a skill, and it's an art. An art means you do your way. You decide to which degree you want to be so considering or not. Or you choose, you do, and it's up to you. It's an art, right? But it's an ability, it's a capability, and a skill. So it's the ability means that you already have it. Everybody has emotional intelligence. If somebody says that, look, no, I don't really have it, and it's just me, I'm just this way, that I get angry easily, or I'm impulsive easily, or I just give up too easily, or I'm too impulsive. Well, you already have emotional intelligence. You already have emotions. Every human has. Well, to a different degree. Somebody works on it or not. Capability. If it's a capability, means that you can develop it. You can develop it. You can become capable of. Being able is something inherent, but being capable means that now you can decide to which degree you want to develop it. And it becomes a skill. If you really want to master it, then it's a skill. You can work on it. And today's principles are going to show you how. And it's an art. It means that you can create, you can manage that atmosphere or that environment. How do people feel around you, your team and your business? Or how do you feel when you are alone with yourself, working on something, and you need some resilience, you need to be disciplined, but then boom, a feeling comes in. How do you use it? How you direct it? It's an art. It's an ability, it's a capability, it's a skill, and it's an art. So simply put, it's something that it's a room that exists within you. You can access it. You can build orders and principles there. And you can direct them, you can work with them. So it's all within you. Now, if you work more, then you can access greatest levels of emotional intelligence so that you can combine the thinking with the feeling. A very, very little book that sparked my interest in emotional intelligence, and it's a book. It's a very small thing, and it's called, let me put it somewhere here. Zoom. Is it going? Here we go. Is managing oneself. Is it managing oneself? It's a it's a brochure. It sparked my interest. And I do really want to, if you are a little bit away from, maybe things about self-growth, self-improvement, self-development, but this one, it's very short, but gives insights, amazing insights. And maybe you want to check it out. So, the way we access that room and bring it together, it's up to us. I can decide how much, you can decide how much of it. All right. So it's an art. Let's move forward. Well, there are two extremes. There are ones who say that emotions are the enemy. I've met many of them. Well, I call them the kings of sense. Does it make sense or doesn't make sense? This doesn't make sense. Well, we'll talk about it, but does everything make sense? I really struggle to find sense in so many things. Sometimes things just don't make sense, but they make sense a little bit later. So if we only focus on sense, but I don't want to convince you. But let's look at this. Maybe you're one of them. The evergreen Socrates. Oh, they're in love with the Stoics, but sometimes have conversations and then I help them to reveal the other space and how it interacts with them, and they're not so Socrates as they think. Yeah, and that's great. That's great news. Great news. That's good. There is hope. There's always hope. And there are the others on the other extreme, the emotions riders. They are the kings of flow. I feel I'm in the flow, and I'm in the flow today. Today I'm not in the flow. All right. If you feel, wait only for when you are in the flow. The road is long. The road is long. The challenges are very long if we wait to be in the flow. There's a great thing to know how to access it, how to get into that flow. It's an amazing thing. But just to wait for it and say like, I'm not in the flow today, so I'm going to do this or that, that's risky. So if you are in a mission, you have a vision, you want to accomplish something in your life, you want to really get things done, you can't just wait always for the flow, right? But again, I'm trying to convince you and I will stop that. So on the other extreme are the evergreen Casanovas. They're like, let's have fun. Let's just like for good in the flow, I feel, not feel. And they say that they always are into that state. But in the end, and again, I'm trying to, to bring them on the other side. Because a very short surprise is going to be very soon about these two extremes. Right, so let's understand a little bit what's the risk of being on one extreme or only on the other. And if you tell me that you are none of them, or you say no, I'm very balanced, I'm gonna give you this look, like this exactly look. Let's not say that we are always like this or we're always like that. Why? Because sometimes we're like this, sometimes we're like that, right? So let's go a little bit deeper into the kings of sense. Well, it doesn't make sense while you're late. They say like, well, it doesn't make sense. While late, you should have been. And they are so pushy. I'm not speaking now about discipline. I'm speaking about when just some things happen and they say, how come? Like, look, my grandpa died yesterday. Yeah, but I was talking to you about the presentation that you should have sent me yesterday. Whoa. I'm just telling you something really dramatic happened. I mean, did you hear it or not? And it's like everything should make sense for them. And they only look for surefire strategies. Like only if it makes sense, then we apply it. If not, then we don't. And they wait until something should always make sense. And at the first moment when they're not in control, or something happens that couldn't be seen or prevented, they get angry and they actually get very emotional because of that. So, or a 10-year plan or nothing. So they really try to bring this propaganda of it should be always reasonable and it should always make sense. All right, it sounds good. It sounds good, especially if if one of us, maybe you're watching and if we are often struggle with our emotions and we really push, but it feels painful and it's hard. Then of course, when we hear about this, when we watch someone being so stoic, then we say, wow, man, that's great. I really wish to be like this. Wow, that's great. But we're going to look into a little bit further. They say only rational decisions. Well, my answer is the decision might be rational, but the reason, motive, never is. So let's think a little bit about this. If you think that being a stoic and only relying on your reason, well, the reason why do you do what you do, there is always an emotion. Because you want to feel in a way or another. Because you care for someone, for the future. You have a hope in the future, or you really believe that you can make a difference in somebody's life. Because I have a question for you. Whatever you do you do something that's not for the people or nature around you? There's always for that. And if you do something for the nature, you need people. And again, you come back to relationships. So you care deeply for something means that you are already involved and you have to deal with emotions. So trying to tell ourselves that, no, I'm really striving to be only reasonable, only logic. We'll share the risks, but this is the question that I want to leave you with, or the statement and or the reflection inside. The decision might be like, let's take a rational decision, but the reason or the motive never is. So all I'm doing right now is trying to tighten up the funnel and to look, how do we build the middle ground for these two? How can we develop this dance between emotions, feelings, and rational thinking? Right? So now we're going to move to the next one. Let's look at some symptoms that those who really are only on this side, they only say only rational and you always have to be logic. They're very often perfectionists. Read the disclaimer, please, in red. Very often they're hyper control because it should make sense. Well, they're pretty selfish. Very often they're just me. It doesn't make sense why I should help you. I'm just going to focus on me. Lunars, they're just by themselves. And there's like, you have to collaborate with someone. They're always going to find some mistakes in others. They're always going to find mistakes and flaws in others. They're the Mr. and Mrs. Right. They always try to be right. They try to reason everything out and to be always right. A very low level of empathy. You tell them about something that you go through or that's something that you really care about. They don't really empathize into you. They just, they kind of listen, but they don't listen. They will go back to their subject immediately. And they run away from the emotions, just to be clear. Results over the experience. I have often happens in my life. Entrepreneurs very often go through these phases, and we're entrepreneurs. We're so obsessed with the result that we forget about the experience that we create for ourselves, and also for the experience that we put the whole team to go through, and we forget about it. And also low risks decisions. Why? Because very often a great decision requires some trust, some faith, and if you don't have it, then you're going to avoid taking high-risk decisions. So now I'm asking you, would you like to stay into this extreme? Probably you're running away from the emotions. You demonize them and you say, this is not good, emotions are bad, and somebody really told you, or maybe you suffered emotionally, you've been hurt, and you run away from them. But that's just running away from who we are. That's just running away from your nature. And how great things can you accomplish by using just one side of who you are? You're losing not 50%, exponentially. You might lose 90% because the impact of the 50% is never 50%, and it's an exponential impact. It's essential. You take one essential skill out, the whole damn thing goes down. So that's a high risk, and I don't think that we want to take this risk. Now let's look on the other extreme. The kings of flow. They always say, follow your heart. Well, that's amazing. That's true. Here and there. Always? Really? Always follow your heart? Right. What are you going to eat tomorrow? Who are you going to serve? Who are you going to help? Whom from are you going to receive some help? Who are you going to build great things together? Like always your heart? Or today my heart tell me to forgive someone that for the 10th time is not respecting the boundaries, or someone that is invasive and don't respect others. Well, my heart tells me to forgive them, but there should be some tough love too. So always doubt that. What do you think? If you are on this side, I might be trigger some reactions in you, and that's not my aim. I'm on this side very often, so I feel here. I really know that it might be a little bit, but as I said, it'll be painful. But as I said, these are just some terms that I try to use to bring this picture, but then we're gonna combine them together. So with the kings of flow, they cry and laugh. Now they're crying, now they're laughing. Lack of consistency, because now they're in the flow, now they're not in the flow. So do you want consistency? Well, then you gotta be somewhere between the Socrates and the Casanovas. You gotta get someone in the middle. You gotta develop this skill of emotional intelligence. And now you might be wondering, well, it's already 20 minutes in the video. Give me the principles. How do I do that? Well, I know you might skip if you want, but I really suggest that you go through so that you know how does it look, how does it feel, what is all this about. Procrastinators, those which are the kings of flows, are great procrastinators. Not now, it doesn't feel like, and I feel it's fearful and like, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna not, what's gonna happen? And then we're gonna wait for the flow. Or impulsive, grammatic, some spelling here. Impulsive decisions, the same thing. I feel happy, bam, make a decision. Oh, shoot. That's a symptom of being a king of flow. Why? Because emotions are all over the place and you don't really manage your emotions. You just let them ride you and take you to the la la land. Next, Mr. and Mrs. Everyone's wrong. Why? Because like, I don't want to feel hurt. I don't want to feel that I'm not good enough. I just don't want to feel that I might work on something. So you give them a harsh feedback or like a tough feedback. They're like, no, it's not me, it's them. They always have a reason to blame everyone around when you're on this side. Like, that should be right. That should be right. They should be better, but not me. Why? Because I'm emotionally have a very thin skin and it gets really hurt when it's about your emotions. And by the way, these guys, I remember a period of my life, I've really been through like on extreme. One of these extremes is that these kings of flow, they have this high sensitivity towards themselves, but they don't have the same sensitivity towards others. And sometimes I'm asking myself, like, how the hell is possible? You're so lovely with yourself, but then you can't recognize the same thing in others. You never think about how others feel when you put them to go through the same thing, or you create an environment where others might also have the right to feel that way or another. Like, how is that possible? Yeah. So let's go. Let's keep learning during this video and get to the principles and not be one of them. And the last one, everything is art. Everything can be like this. No, sometimes we have to do things because they're right, not because they're artful. Sometimes there are principles that we have to apply and do the thing and do the work so that we can get wherever we want to get. So let's be rational. So see, when I was on the rational, I tried to bring you on this extreme. But when I'm speaking about this extreme, I want to bring you on the other one. So where they're going to meet? They're going to meet in the middle because we are a little bit both. We're a little bit both. Sometimes we are the kings of sense, and this on this side, they're unpleasant, but honored. Why? Because these people, they don't really engage. They don't really have empathy with others. They don't really sacrifice themselves. They're always about making sense, but they're honored because they really get things done, but they're by themselves. And they're honored, but they're unpleasant to be around them, or unhappy, but feared. Yes, that's again, read the red disclaimer. It's a generalization, of course. Often unhappy because you live without any kind of emotion. You don't celebrate. You don't feel the thrill of taking the risk and then the joy of winning and so on and so forth. On the other side, the other ones, these which are the king of flow, follow your heart. They're pleasant to be around, but unreliable because in 5 minutes they might change. The emotion might change. Then the whole damn thing changes. And then it's like, oh, whoa, we agreed. You're going to do this thing or the other thing. Like, what happened to our agreement? Hey, I'm in the flow. It changed. Well, and yes, they're more happy in short term, but needy. They always need something to be inspired, to be motivated, to be cared, to be always. You have to inject into them a huge amount of energy because they need it so that they can be on these waves of the flow. And if they cannot create for themselves, they're gonna force others to create those waves for themselves. So now it might be. I want to ask yourself: have you felt a little bit that sometimes you are on the one side and sometimes you're on the other side? So I have a question for you. Would you like to learn a little bit how to, maybe if you are on the evergreen Socrates, maybe you want to access your emotions a little bit. Maybe you want to feel a little bit, some passion, some joy, some maybe sadness sometimes, also like to experience it. Because again, when we are sad about something, we might go a bit low, but then we can access another part of our creativity, of our human experience, and that's amazing. So through that little pain, sometimes great things come out. Or maybe you are on the other side. Maybe you are the king of flow. You're always following your heart, but then it's like, man, past 3 years and I haven't achieved what I want to achieve. And I really want to be a bit more disciplined. I really want to be more reliable. I want to be a little bit more reasonable about what I do. How do I engage with others rather than being impulsive, reacting to everything? So would you like to get in the middle? Would you like to have both of them, to manage them when you need a little bit of this, a little bit of that? When the situation requires to be a little bit more like this, when the situation requires to be a little bit more like that. So if your answer is yes, then you really don't want to miss the next part, which we're going to do right now. All right. So a good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. Why I'm taking this picture and showing it with you? It's been more than 9 years or 10 years, probably more than 10 years, that I always have this photo, this picture printed out on my wall right there. And it's always with me. And I always want to remind myself that a good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. When you can be all tough and you can be kind at the same time, your life changes. You can access millions of dimensions of who you are, and you can engage with the whole world, and the whole experience of your life will change. And that is just amazing. I really want that for you, to have this balance and to have this ability, capability, the skill after I share with you the principles, so that you can work on them and change your life. Because there is no greater thing when we start to combine these two, which are not really compatible. But if we can do it, if we can bring the fire and the water together, water and the sun, if we can bring them together, our experience in life, our success, our relationships, the way we build, we grow, we connect with others, it changes. And that's amazing. You as a leader, you need that. You need to know how to spot, to recognize these dynamics in other people, to scan the emotional dynamic when you are in a team, or when you are in a room, and know how are the things going on, and to know how to engage and where's the right moment to jump in, and when you have to step back a little bit, when to listen and when to raise your voice. I mean, not yelling, but just to speak up and stand for yourself. So all these things are emotional dynamics. They're not always reasonable. They're not always logic. So we use the logic, but there is a spark within us that is absolutely not logic. So look at it this way. So now we're jumping into the principles. So if in the middle of this wheel, you're centered, around the wheel, imagine that it's spinning, is the emotion, your emotional aspect, your emotional dynamics. And you need it, because if a wheel needs to be used or needs to roll, then you need the outer. Because through this outer layer, then you can get in contact with the surface, and then you can have the grip and move forward. So yes, you are centered here in the middle, but you get to have some skills around, some tentacles that you use in order to interact with others. So that's why the next picture shows you exactly the meaning that I want to convey. Emotional intelligence is how we connect with others, and my emotion moves your emotion moves mine, and then together we go through this emotional experience. Then we go deep in, then we connect with our values, and then we use them together, and then we retransform. Because every single time when we have to make a decision, there is an input of information that comes in from the reflection of our past experiences, or from an information that comes from the outside. And if we don't have this lens, this prism that is going to allow to transform and to direct those inputs, then we are very doomed to suffer and to prolong the growth process, because we are limiting ourselves to only that reflection, those insights that we only can extract from our own life. But hey, how many experiences do we need in order to go through all kinds of experiences? So one life is too short. That's why we learn from others. In order to do that, these channels, emotional channels, needs to be open. So these two wheels really show this idea of how can we interact with others. Well, one is centered and the other one is centered. Doesn't mean that one wheel now starts to overspin and to take control, and only one turns or has this force and only one spins. No, both are needed to be spinning, and that's amazing when that happens. So as I often say, that self-leadership is knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom, said Aristotle. And the way I said it, and I haven't known that, and yesterday I was preparing for this video and I found this and said like, oh, it feels good a little bit to have said something similar to Aristotle. Self-mastery is the beginning of all mastery. That's why this masterclass is taking a little bit longer than I thought, but I do really believe that, because if you're watching now this video now, and it's half an hour in, and if you're still watching, it means that you're really, really interested in. So I want to add here one thing on top, that without this skill, I really see how people spend years of their lives repeating the story, being attached to the same emotion, and they never want to change that story because it feels reasonable, it feels logic to believe something that was once true. Because in the moment of change, I feel myself, and probably you feel the same thing when you were about to change something, that I have to give up something that I really know that worked some time ago. Why should I give up on it and start believing something that it's not tested, wasn't tested yet? That requires trust, that requires an emotion, and feelings and emotions are very mixed with trust and faith. You don't know it. It can't have a logic approach to trust and faith. But the greatest things in life, in our lives, happens when we have trust and faith, we take the risk and we move forward. And we don't allow those negative emotions to stop us, but we use them in order to bring different ingredients, new ingredients in our thinking process, in our feeling process, so that we can make better decisions and grow in our life and be successful and achieve the things that we want to achieve. So these are the 8 tools. Finally, we've got to them. 4 of them are for yourself and 4 are for leading others. So you can look at these these two domains, in self-leadership: self-awareness and self-management. You gotta observe, watch yourself, and at the same time to manage yourself. So these are 2 domains for self-leadership. What self-leadership is to see, to observe, to watch, and then to manage, right? And if you bring together, that's leading, because you're not just managing, but you observe, you inject new things, boom, that's leading. Leading is using the wisdom of the past, but having a destination and managing in the process, but adjusting along the way, improving along the way, not just being a machine following forward without any switches and changes in your life. That's not wise. In social leadership, in the outer layer of leadership, is social awareness, to scan the room, to observe, to feel others, to observe what's going on. And relationship management, how to manage, because you're not always in the leading the relationship, so you have to manage your part in a relationship that you have with others, team, colleagues, partners. Woo, there we go. These are the other 2 domains. So in the self-leadership, the principle number 1, follow your heart, but use your mind. If one was enough, we would have had only one. So the principle number 1 for emotional intelligence is follow your heart, but use your mind. So make time for yourself to feel, what is my heart telling me? Where do I feel that I would be more useful? Where my passion relies? But then use your mind and see that maybe what you're passionate about, you're never gonna get good at it. And if you can't get good at it, then you can't really serve others. And if you can't serve others, then how are you gonna grow your business? So it's true, you gotta put your passion in, but then you gotta be reasonable about it. Because if you want to be a dancer and you're in your 40s and you never dance, you never know it, like, yeah, my dream, my passion, but I know people that are in their 50s and they never gave up on that crazy. Not absolutely nonsense. And it's not even a dream anymore. It's a story that they tell themselves that, oh, that was my dream, but it wasn't meant to happen. Well, because you should have used your mind. So I am a huge believer in following your heart. I'm a huge believer, but I also know that my heart can lead towards some areas or towards some directions, and my heart can be wicked. I really know that. Because some hate comes and it feels like this. Why? Because feeling, I'm going to tell you a little bit later, they're like smoke. They're real, but not real. So, depends. Yes, it's something, it's not something you can touch. And there is lots of wisdom in it. But you got to use the mind as well. So principle number one, it's very simple. Follow your heart. So pick that crazy direction. You don't believe that vision yet, no problem. But then use your mind. Hey, what goals I'm going to make? What steps I'm going to take? What actions are required in order to get there? Is this something that is going to make me happy in a half a year? Or is this something that's going to serve me in a half a year or in a year or not? How I'm going to manage my finances in the next half a year? You got to use the mind. So yeah, follow the heart, but use your mind. Very simple. Don't think that we have to stop too much here. All right. Next one. Feel the emotions. Think the feelings. Emotions and feelings are like smoke. Real, but not real. Feel the emotions, but think the feelings. Well, probably we need to stop here a little bit. You have no other escape. I know another option. I know sometimes it's very, it's uncomfortable to feel the emotion. You feel like an emotion of anger, for example, that you lost. You lost the game. Or you failed at something. Of course, the feeling is to feel like a loser or that you're never going to succeed. And one of the greatest things here, feel that damn emotion. Loved emotion, nothing is damn. Feel that emotion. Let it be. So what? All right, let it feel, let it be. All right, have a smile on top of it. All right, I feel like this. All right. Yeah. Feels like, all right, good. You keep doing what you're doing. Maybe you want to take a break, half an hour. Maybe you just really want to be into that emotion. Because by doing that, you clean the inner room. What does it mean? That you're not piling up emotions. Because sooner or later, they're going to be stored in your body. I would really go now into a little bit of neuroscience. I also prepare the tablet, and I want to go into that, but that's going to take it's going to be an extremely long video. We have 8 principles. So you gotta feel that emotion. If you don't feel that emotion, then you are piling up those emotions, and then when those emotions are piling up, 2 things are going to happen. Assure you are going to happen. 1, your body starts to get sick. Why? Because your emotions are stored in your body. And when you don't clean your emotional room, your body starts to suffer. That's how it works. We're not going to go too much into it. Your emotions are stored in your body. And the memory of that emotion is the story and the belief that you formed for yourself. So the memory of the emotion is the beliefs that you have created for yourself. Those are, what's a belief? Well, it's the memory of an emotion. Period. You felt betrayed by someone, and you always have this feeling now, the belief now that everyone like them, that looks like them, or similar to them, or have similar personality traits like them, are going to betray you sooner or later. You have the belief that if you learn a little bit of marketing, you're gonna fail anyway. Why? Because you felt like a dummy, because you failed once. Now you have the belief that I'm not good at marketing. Why? Because I felt like it. I'm not gonna good in sales and I'm never gonna succeed. Why? Because I failed, and so on and so forth. So the belief, it's what you remember of the emotion. If you want to change your beliefs, you gotta access, well, means that some memories of your emotions are so deeply written in your mind, and your emotions were stored in your body, never taken out, never cleared the room, and you feel in your body, you feel frozen, or you feel anger, or you feel tightened, or you feel nervous, or you feel scared, or anxiety. All these things, where do you feel them? In your ears? In your nose? Where? In your hair? Yes, your hair, because your skin, because of your body. So you feel them in your whole body, your stomach tightens, moments when you have to do something scary and your stomach tightens up and like, oh my gosh, and anxiety is through the roof. Where do you feel them? In your body. Well, how come? Because the emotions are stored in your body. So if you don't process the emotions, they're going to be stored in your body. And then you have this body that is going to take control of the future situations when you have to make life important decisions. So if you want to change your life, you have to learn to make better decisions. But how the hell are you going to do that if you never put your body through sweating, to running, to working, and cleaning these nervous mechanisms that were once created? You got to disrupt them and clean it. That's how you start. That's why the emotions needs to be felt. And don't judge yourself as like, oh, I'm a baby. I can't be like a baby. I have to man up. And yes, that's good. But feel the emotion first. Don't run away. If you are so strong, why are you afraid of feeling an emotion? Let it feel. Just don't make dumb decisions and don't go paranoid. Don't get paranoid about it. So feel the emotions, but think the feelings. You gotta think the feeling. Hey, why do I feel like this? How is that possible? Why do I feel that they don't respect me? Why? Because I assure you, 90% of the time, when you feel somehow that you are not respected, or you feel betrayed, or you feel that somebody is going to do something, it's a paranoia, and it's something that you've been through before, and you formed that emotion, you believed it, you formed the belief, and now you have the feeling. What's the feeling? Is the tool of your inner beliefs. You have an inner belief that every single time you're going to be on stage trying to sell something or to communicate something, you're going to fail, and you feel like a loser. You feel like you're going to fail. That's a feeling. That's not what you think. Think them. Don't, if I can give you one, the greatest thing of this masterclass is you think you're thinking, but you are feeling. And if you confuse what's feeling with thinking, my gosh, your life is a circus. It's a circus. You're going to be surprised every single day and say, oh, what's happening to me? Like, oh my gosh, why are others so good? Why I'm not so good? When I'm going to succeed? Why not? Why not so soon? Why not so early? Oh my gosh, I'm not good. And then I'm the best. And I'm not good. And then I'm the best. Oh, it's a circus. Because you think, but you're not thinking, you're feeling. So you've got to learn what's a feeling and what's a thought. And you want to think the feelings, but you can become capable of that only if you first allow emotions to be felt. Feel the emotion, feel it, don't run away, don't push it, it's New Year's coming, 2025, already hearing the fireworks outside. If you can hear them, then probably you're celebrating too. Soon I will be too. All right, so happy 2025. Let's go. Let's have this emotion, and maybe you need it, maybe you don't, but if you feel like, do it, feel it. But then if you feel that you haven't worked tonight like me, and there's like, oh, I'm not working enough, and I feel like I'm lazy, think it. Think it through. Don't jump on it. So the principle number 2, feel the emotions. Don't run away. Don't suppress. You're going to pile up. You get sick. That's one. The second thing that starts, when you start piling up the emotions, you snap. You do crazy things on the people or on yourself that you don't deserve or others don't. And you just explode. One day somebody says just one word. It's like, oh, I don't think you're a great communicator. You get crazy. Why? Because you've been piling emotions. You never allowed yourself to feel them. You pile them, then you make dumb decisions, and your life is a circus rather than a human, beautiful experience of growth, of self-leadership and leading others and having an impact in this world. Principle number 3, be tough, be kind. Always at the same time. The tougher you want to be, the kinder you have to be. If you want to be tough, learn how to be kind first. If you want to learn to be kind, be tough. Because probably you are too nice and you're playing in the being nice and you can't become kind because you're just running from one extreme to another. Or you're too nice or you are extremely aggressive. So you want to be tough. You don't want to be aggressive. You want to be firm. You want to be clear. You want to be decisive. And then change the decision if you need to. But once made, needs to be followed through. They go through together. Be kind to yourself and be kind, tough with yourself. When you want to tell to yourself like, hey, I gotta work a little bit more because I'm not working enough. All right, no problem. Be tough on yourself, no problem. Like, hey, 8 hours of sleep is too much. Let's bring it down to 40. No problem. Do it. But be kind. Don't do it out of anger, out of hate that you're not good enough or you'll never achieve whatever you want to achieve. Kind and tough together. If you can combine these two, you're far away in the game, far away in the game. You can always have the possibility to be a little bit aggressive on yourself. Go in the gym, be aggressive on yourself. You really need to feel a little bit of that. But then you will see that ain't gonna take you too far. Or it will take you too far, but your life, it's miserable. You achieve things, but you're always so tough on yourself. You're aggressive on yourself. And then you always do out of guilt, you do the things. And then you kind of need it every day because you're every day gonna feel guilty for doing something or not doing something. So it becomes crazy. Tough and kind. Very easy to be understood and harder to be done. Value others as you would like to be valued. Value yourself as you value others. You just need this sentence out of this emotional intelligence. Value others as you would like to be valued. Period. There should have been a period there. Very often, I know people that they undervalue others, but when others do the same thing to them, it's like, yes, if you really want to get better at your emotional intelligence, and to bring this emotionality in, you don't follow just the reason. It's not reasonable because for the reason, if you want to achieve more, you gotta work more and you have to push others even harder and harder. Well, it doesn't work this way. Value them as you'd like to be valued. And if the answer is not there, then you make a decision. It's up to you to make a decision and to run away or to close that relationship or to start to manage that relationship if needed. And value yourself as you value others. It has two ends to this, idea. Value yourself as you value others. Look at yourself the way you treat others and start treating yourself like this and see how does it feel. Is it good? Do you like it? Would you like? Why? And you're gonna get so many answers. You're going to get so many answers. Because maybe sometimes you're too nice to yourself. Too nice. I have to allow myself this, I have to allow myself that, and oh my gosh. Okay, treat others. And would like treat your workers in your team like this? No, guys, go welcome today. Now rest, take it easy, don't worry. There's no deadline there. Like, that doesn't feel right with me. All right. Then same thing. There is no such a great difference. Why should I treat others worse or better than myself? Why? No, I'm going to treat myself the way with kindness and toughness. And I'm going to treat others with kindness and toughness at the same time. If I raise my standards, then you raise the standards for others too. And others are going to say, oh, you become so picky now about the words. What's going on with you? Well, I raise my standards. So are you part of the team or not? Because my life, I live it. Now, no pressure on you, but these are the standards of the house. So you're welcome to join or not. Sometimes we have to do that. That's not so. Yeah, and that's why if you are on the king of flows, then it's hard to be tough. And if you're always on the cold, reasonable logic, then it's hard to be kind. So in the middle, use these formulas, these 4 principles that are for your self-leadership. Be tough and kind. Follow your heart, but use your mind. Value others as you'd like to be valued. Value yourself as you value others, and value others as you value yourself. Same thing. And feel the emotions, think the feelings. Feel first, then think the feeling. Doesn't mean that you have to feel first and then I'll think. 90% is true. Let it feel. Feel it. Allow yourself to be human, not making impulsive decisions. Just let me feel. Then I will feel. Then I will deal with it. Then I will think the feeling. Why do I feel like one way or another? Let's move into the leadership. Principle number 1, scan the visual, feel your body. I told you in the beginning, the emotions are in your body. That's why you have to scan the visual. Sometimes when you are in a conversation with someone, when you are networking, you have to present yourself. You want to introduce yourself, or somebody wants to introduce you. Then, of course, there's moments you feel a bit awkward, you'll feel a bit nervous, you feel a bit like, I'm going to say the right thing, or how was the impression? I don't want to overplay it, I don't want to underplay it. So how do it right? And sometimes we're so into the cues around us that we lose the connection with ourselves. We forget about our posture. You forget about, am I breathing right? Am I standing right? Tall? I'm just like, no, my body, I'm just like not aware of it. A simple thing here, a great public speaker helped me with these 3, and I love it. When you're in a situation like this, move your toes. Move your toes in your shoe. Move your toes a little bit. Move them. Well, it connects with the body. It's like, oh, okay, here I am. Oh, all right, here I am. Relax. Well, feel good. You're good. You're all right. You're all right. Yeah, it's just a meeting. It's just a presentation. It's all right. So just all the things. So you'll get confident in time. You'll get, you won't feel like this maybe in time. But if you need it, it's because emotions are a bit too high. Connect with your body. And again, if you're too much into your body and you're a piece of stone and you're like just in your body and you're rigid and you're feel full of tension, it's because your emotions are high and they're all in your body, and you lose the sight, and you don't realize that somebody was speaking and you're over speaking or talk on top of someone, or maybe someone is feeling a little bit intimidated by your energy. Oh, step back a little bit. And it's not your garden. When you're into your garden, your presentation, do it the way you want to do it, no problem. So if you're too connected to your body, then you can't scan the visuals. You get detached of like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen, I haven't observed. And you don't feel the dynamic in the room. And then people are going to get rid of you from that room because you don't respect the dynamics of the room. So first respect it, observe, scan it. Then if you consider that you want to change it, and you want to change a little bit the dynamics in the room, then no problem. Absolutely. Take the lead according to the principles of emotional intelligence, but not just being, sometimes individuals are like this. Shut up. No, we go that way. We go. It's like, hey, where are we going? Wait a second. What do you say? Where do you have to go? Oh, okay. You haven't asked first. You were yelling all over the place. It's like, oh, we're going to win. Well, who is going to play? What's the game we're playing? So yeah, because they're not scanning the room. They're just connected to themselves. They've got a crazy idea and they're like a boom, boom, boom. Like, whoa. Okay, but go by yourself. All right. Scan the room. Feel your body. Next, create a safe environment, but don't become a trash. A bin trash. Don't become a bin trash. What does it mean? Create a safe environment where people feel safe to open, feel safe to share, but find your limit. It's an art. You remember at the beginning it was said it's an art. Well, now the art jumps in. How can you create a safe environment, but not to start to let everything in and say, you can put here everything, no problem. I will hold everything myself. Because our body sometimes doesn't make the difference between our emotion and an emotion that we haven't been through. It's somebody's story. And we let it go through. That happens when we watch a movie, for example, and you feel that emotion. So, wow, but it's not your emotion, but it becomes your emotion. Well, that happens because our body is very good at feeling the emotion, and it doesn't understand the head produced it, or it came through the ear and then it got into your system. And your body remembers it. That's why whatever you allow to come through the ear, through your eyes, it's all input. And if you don't have filters, or you have too many filters, then no input gets the system into yourself. Or if you don't have any filters, and you can't be tough, because you are follow the heart, always too sweet, too nice, and you let others to bring everything, and you become a bean trash, then don't be surprised when you're gonna wake up one day and say, what a miserable life am I living? Well, here's the answer if you have this kind of question. What are the inputs opened through which all information, everything comes into your system? And who are those people? And have you allowed them? Have you decided consciously to keep someone at that distance, or to give that space you have in your life for them? Or it just happened automatically and you're not even aware of it because someone was and does that work intentionally, but you are not aware of it. Get out of that mechanism so that you can make conscious decisions, not automatic decisions, and you somehow ended up in that situation or in that relationship. If they picked me somehow, let's be mindful about it. Create a safe environment. I remember a couple of days ago, somebody sent me some messages that somebody else sent them. And I'm sure out of great intentions. You know what I'm saying? I said immediately, these messages don't belong to me. That person sent to you those messages, I understand it's out of great intentions, was something about honor, respect, so was something great. Love it. But that person, when they sent those messages to you, they didn't think about the fact that you're gonna show to everyone. Not to everyone, but even to one person, that's part of the everyone. So no, take them away, keep them for yourself. I don't want it. If somebody decides to do that, I'll gracefully receive it. But don't do this. Not to me. Not anymore. These are not my messages. Those words were not meant to reach my ears, at least from the person that generated them. They were meant for you. Enjoy. It's your bowl, your soup. Bon appetito. All right. The next one. Principle number 3, lead and lift. You can't moan and lead at the same time. Oh, this is a good one. Lead and lift. Ask yourself, am I lifting? Or am I just adding more weight on everything? It feels right and it feels logic. You have to do this better. You have to do this better. You haven't done this good. You have to do this better. Have to do this better is still better than saying, this wasn't good, that wasn't good, that wasn't good, that wasn't good. And then you ask them, hey, why are you so bring this energy? Yeah, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So I have to tell them. It's like, yeah, you have to at the right moment. Because you might have great intentions. And I know that you might have great intentions, but if you don't learn this emotional skill of always being uplifting, if you want to be a great leader, I mean, if you don't want to lead, then just don't lead. But if you want to become a great leader, then you have to lead. And if you have to lead, then you have to lift and be tough at the same time. But you got to have always an lifting, raising the standards and inspiring others to reach that standard. Because you can't wait for the perfect people to come in. You lead those people to new heights, to new standards. The last one, a personal formula for myself. Learn, engage, apply, and then there. Learn, engage, apply, and there. Learn. First learn. A little bit of more emotional intelligence. A little bit more of that. A little bit more of this. What do I need to learn more? More in sales, more team management, more in organizational culture, more into emotional management, anger. Learn, learn, learn. Learn about the person in front of you. Hey, tell me more about you. Engage then. But first learn. How do we learn? Bring questions. Do you want to connect with others? Do you want people to feel not only good around you, but if you want people to feel good around you and you want to lead them, you want to do great things in your organization, in your team, in your life, then you gotta connect with people. You can't do everything by yourself. And if you just pay people, you pay them, they're gonna be there until you pay them. But if they don't pay, then they're not there. Then you have to train another one. It's not convenient from all aspects: spiritually, economically, emotionally, rationally, physically. It's just absolute. It's all a lose from all the aspects, from all the perspectives. So learn about the environment, the team, the culture, about the person in front of you. Learn them, know them. What are they driven by? What do they like? When's their birthday? What's their name? Do they have a sister? Do they have a brother? How many kids do they have? What's the name? Where have you traveled? Never be tired of learning your people. Never. And if you get tired, probably it's because you have some emotional processes that are not healthy and the best way managed or directed. And those emotions are like a burden on yourself, and it's hard to learn others. So clean the room. Let this energy flow through you. Engage. Apply what you learn. Apply it. What you apply today, you got to apply it. So I'm going to show all 8 of them in just a second. You can maybe take a snapshot of them, apply them, and then modify up to your standards, according to your preferences. Absolutely. But do the work, and there, because challenge precedes competence. Always. And change precedes results. I'm going to write this down. So, these are for the leadership. Lead and lift. Lead, learn, engage, apply in there. There, they take the risk in there. Even if you don't know, try again. Be courageous. Don't let some negative emotions, feel them first, but then think those feelings, bring in great questions and say, why do I feel like this? And find the story that you're telling yourself. Find it, rewrite it, so that you can have different emotions according to the new story. And change the environment, create a safe environment, and don't become a bin trash for everything. You gotta find this dance between one extreme and the other. So here we have the all 8 of them. Maybe you want to say hi and snap them now. Here we go. Hello. Follow your heart, use your mind, be tough and kind. Feel the emotions, think the feelings. Value others as you'd like to be valued. Treat yourself as you treat others, as you value others. Scan the visual, feel the body, know about the thing about the body, do sport every single day, physical activity that will help in the next 3-6 months to clean the body of stored emotions. Remember, your emotions are stored in your body. So if you want to get better at managing your emotions and be more courageous and dare and taking risks and be bold and changing your life, you've got to maintain that room clean, the temple. In the greatest book it's written, that's your temple. Treat it as a temple. Not worshiping the temple as worshiping the body. Oh, my body. No, be rough on it. I mean, destroy it. Go in the gym, destroy it. Go run. Don't you worry. It's going to regenerate even better. All right? But clean it and take care of it. When we care, we're not always nice. When we care, we're kind and tough. Sometimes nice, no problem. Sometimes something nice for ourselves, for others, for our body, no problem about it. All right, here we go. There are 8 principles. The last things is that you can see that some of them are more on the soft side, some of them are more on the stoic side, some of them are the Casanova's habits, some of them are the Socrates habits. And the good news is that we have all of them within ourselves. You remember in the beginning, the emotional intelligence is something that is an ability, it's a capability, it's a skill, it is an art. All right, it's within you. You can work it, you can master it, you can become very good at it. And you can decide for yourself. You're free to decide how much of it. more or less, according to your preferences and goals. And for example, me personally, I love to be an emotional writer, but that's why I put alarms, and I'll measure the time. Okay, 2 hours, no problem. Boom, 2 hours. Woo-hoo. But then, okay, boom, back to what needs to be done. Or otherwise, today we'll use this emotion. I'm very creative. I'll use it for something different. So yes, it's an art on both sides. This is something that I want for you to remember, like to have it just in front of you, like nicely put. Maybe you want to screen it, you want to share it, and tag Exploraself Academy from Instagram. I'm gonna leave the links below. Want to follow us on Instagram, and maybe you want to share this photo because look how it looks good, and it's something that can always be useful and helpful, so that we can grow and develop this and master this skill of emotional intelligence, this dimension. In Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. All this work of this emotional intelligence is going to happen in a relationship with others. So true, I've shared with you 4 principles that are within you, and 4 principles that are on the outer layer for the social leadership, for the leadership outside of you. But it starts with self-leadership. So the practice, the work is going to be with other person, in a relationship with other person. So don't run away if you are not good at emotionally engaging and balancing and scanning the room and valuing others' emotions and recognizing them, spotting them, respecting them. Practice, practice, practice. It's gonna change your world. It's gonna change your life. And you're gonna have so many blessings in your lives when you allow yourself to feel, and then you think the feelings, and when you allow that part of yourself to breathe and to be part of who you are, because it is part of who you are. Visit Exploraselfmba.com. There is a program called Hack Your Mind Before It Hacks You that will help you. It's free. You can go there, create your student account, and it's how to control your mind. What the mind likes, how the mind works, and how to start to control, to manage your mind. Isn't this beautiful? Wouldn't it be smart to be smart? I'm sure the answer is yes. So and I assume the answer is yes, then what can stop you from that masterclass that is going to help you with your thoughts, so that you might be sure next time if is there something about the feelings or about the thinking, so that you can manage your feeling and your emotions, and then you can be sure that when you're thinking, you're actually thinking, and you're not dancing between an emotion and another, being fooled or tricked by an emotion and thinking that you're thinking, but actually you're processing a feeling, and you make the decision, and then another decision, and then another decision. And when we sum the results of all our decisions, then we get the quality of my and your life. So if you see things that you would like to have different in your life, then it's about the decisions. But in order to make better decisions, we've got to be sure what do we have on the table. And Hack Your Mind is going to help you to make the distinction between your mind and your feelings. Don't you want that? I'm sure you like that. So go to Exploraselfmba.com. For now, I'm Alexandr. I tell you hello and thank you very much for your attention. Wish you to be blessed by the best. Wish you a great, bombastic 2025. Lead your life with power, with courage, with boldness. Lead others with being humble, with love and valuing others as you value yourself. And if you want to raise the standard and raise the level and increase the quality, then do it. Now is the perfect moment. Thank you. See you in the next video. Subscribe to this channel and share it with someone that you really care about and you really want for someone to improve their relationship with their emotions, with their thinking. They're ambitious, they're working hard, and they're really struggling to understand maybe something's wrong with me. No, it's not. You're a human. You can be emotional. You can be serious. During this video, I haven't been so much serious. I allow myself to be a little bit more emotional And that's alright, and that's okay. In some videos, I'm more grudging, more serious, I'm more reasonable, I'm asking and calling you for something different. And that's okay, that's okay. Years ago, I would feel so awkward and so, oh no, me, what people are gonna say? I'm gonna do that, never. Are you kidding? No. But then the horizons disappear and my personal universe just enlarged and expanded. And that's what I wish for you. Wish you all the best, take care, and be emotionally intelligent. Isn't it smart to be smart? All right, I'm out of here. Bye-bye.